welcome this morning. My name is Miss Kinsey and I'm a librarian here at the Dell Rapids Carnegie Library, and today we are going to be reading some stories about knights and dragons. They kind of go hand in hand, right? Because what do knights protect the castle from? Right, dragons, right? But in our stories, we kind of find out that our dragons are not always the evil creatures that the stories have made them out to be. So I think you're going to really like the stories that we picked out today. Let's go ahead and get ready to get started. So before we read our stories, we need to make sure that we have all of our wiggles out so that we are ready to sit and listen, okay? So arms straight up in the air, everybody, and wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle this way, wiggle that way. Shake and make a funny sound. Good job. Ready? Open, shut them, open, shut them. Give a little clap. Good job. Open, shut them, open, shut them. Put them in your lap. All right. If you guys watched any of my story times this spring or any of the other story times that we've had already this summer, you know what we need to say next. Are you ready? I am great. I am smart. I am strong. I am loved. And today is a wonderful day. It is, isn't it? It is a wonderful day to get to spend some time with you, my friends, reading some super fun books about knights and dragons. Have you guys ever pretended to be a knight? Oh, I have. Miss Cassie will get our phone for us, I hope. We have so many people calling to get books and materials that they get to take home and read and watch. It's been amazing getting to provide materials for all of our friends again. But it does make our phone ring a lot, so I'm sorry for that interruption. All right, here we go. So our first story that we're going to read today is called Pete the Cat, Sir Pete the Brave, and it's by James Dean. I don't know about you guys, but I just love Pete the Cat. He goes on so many different adventures and he has such cool friends. I really enjoy his stories. So let's find out what happens when he is Sir Pete the Brave. Meet Sir Pete, the bravest knight in the land. Sir Pete rides a horse and climbs towers. At dinner, Sir Pete listens to Lady Callie play the harp. Lady Callie is awesome. Bravo, Sir Pete yells at the end of each song. He claps louder than anyone. One night, while Lady Callie plays beautifully, someone casts a spell, and everyone falls asleep, even Sir Pete. The next morning, Lady Callie is gone. Oh no, says Sir Pete the Brave. I will find Lady Callie and save her. Giddy up! Oh, Sir Pete falls in a hole. The hole is a dragon's footprint. Follow the footprints, Sir Pete says to his horse. My goodness, that footprint is bigger than his whole horse. How scary. The footprints stop. Where did the dragon go? Sir Pete looks up and sees the dragon flying across the lake with Lady Callie and her harp. Sir Pete can't fly, but he can row. Across the lake he goes. Sir Pete sees a dragon's cave. He has to go inside, but it is very dark. Then he hears music. He must save Lady Callie. He won't be scared. He finds a harp, but no Lady Callie. Oops. Sir Pete will not give up. He climbs the highest hill. He looks around for Lady Callie. Then he hears a loud growl. Sir Pete is scared. The hill starts to move. Sir Pete is on the dragon's back. Sir Pete knows what to do. He slides down, down, down the dragon's back. The dragon sees Pete and roars. "Sir Pete," says Lady Callie, "I will save you." "Save me," says Sir Pete, "but I came to save you." Sir Pete and Lady Callie start to argue, and the dragon starts to cry. "I just wanted to sing along," the dragon sobs. "I did not want to hurt anyone." "I have an idea," says Sir Pete. "Will you give us a lift?" Where do you guys think they're going? The dragon flies Sir Pete and Lady Callie home. Everyone is happy to see them. "You don't need a great voice to make music," said Sir Pete. "Just good friends." The dragon joins the song. 3 cheers for Lady Callie and for Sir Pete the Brave. What a silly, silly story. Our poor dragon, he just wanted to sing along with everyone, but he didn't quite know how to do it. And then Sir Pete and Lady Callie fighting over who was gonna save who. How very, very silly. All right, so before we read our next story, let's stretch our bodies a little bit. Ready? Arms straight up in the air. See how far you can stretch. Can you reach the ceiling? Oh, almost. Ready? Let's stretch all the way to the side. Really pull that top arm over. Good job. Now go to the other side. Really pull. Feels so good to stretch your body. All right, arms straight out, palms up, and we're gonna stretch this way and that way. Good job. Pull your arms in, give yourself a big squeeze. You guys are doing such a great job. I'm so proud of you. All right, our next story is very silly. I hope you guys like it. I read it to my boys last night because I was practicing for reading it to you guys, and they thought that it was hilarious. It's called Donuts and Dragons. It's by D. Leone and illustrated by George Ermos. So, donuts, what does that kind of sound like? Do you guys see anything in our picture that might give you a clue? Let's see. You guys might be right. Let's see. All right, here we go. This is a fun rhyming book. I like these. In a magical kingdom far to the east lived a very small knight and a very large beast. One day while collecting fresh herbs in a glen, the young knight discovered a well-hidden den. It was filled with ingredients he'd not seen before. The lad couldn't resist. He just had to explore. In the blink of an eye, he had filled a large vat with a little of this and a little of that. The pleasing aroma of hot savory stew woke a shape in the dark that soon came into view. The knight jumped in fright and feared he'd be caught, but the beast stopped to drink from the shimmering pot. Oh, this soup is delicious. Can't you stay, please? We'll cook and we'll dine and we'll share recipes. There was something sincere in the dragon's appeal, so the knight ceased to think he'd become a hot meal. The unlikely pair learned they both liked to bake. They made sea serpent cookies and unicorn cake. They created tall castles with sugar and spice and stirred up huge helpings of pixie dust rice. I don't know about you guys, but that all looks delicious to me. But in that great kingdom so far to the east, friendship was outlawed between knight and beast. When a knight came of age, he was bound by a rule to spear a winged beast in a challenging duel. And a dragon was also required to fight, commanded by edict to swallow a knight. Oh dear. The upcoming match filled the friends with great fear, for both were required to take part that year. I won't spear a dragon, the knight said. I can't. I won't eat a knight, said the dragon. I shan't. They cooked and they baked and they made a big mess. 5 plates of dessert didn't lessen their stress. I feel that. On the eve of the contest, they had lots to do. They were bound and determined to bake something new. So they mixed and they measured, they kneaded and rolled, then cut shapes from dough with a circular mold. They knew this creation could well be their last, and anxiously worked just a little too fast. They deep fried the dough in a kettle of oil. The dragon's hot breath brought it all to a boil. The knight speared a shape that resembled a beast. Then he took a small bite, and oh, what a feast. The puffy dessert was both scrumptious and hot, but it also gave rise to an interesting thought. I must pierce a dragon with my sword of steel, but the law doesn't state that the beast must be real. And I am required to swallow a knight. If he's made of dough, shouldn't that be all right? So they melted some armor, quite shiny and bright, for a cast of a dragon and one of a knight. They mixed sugar and flour, shortening and yeast. From the dough, they created each knight and each beast. Exhausted, they pushed the scraps into a heap, washed their hands, brushed their teeth, and quickly fell asleep. Subjects came the next day from land, sea, and air to see how each knight and each dragon would fare. When asked who'd go first, the 2 friends volunteered. The spectators rose, waved their banners, and cheered. The worried contestants stepped onto the field. Then the knight dropped his sword and lay down his shield. He'll be burnt to a crisp, all the people exclaimed. We'll win this first round, every dragon proclaimed. But the beast didn't aim at the small, helpless knight. Instead, he set all of the cooking alight. The Dragon King fumed and the Royal King thundered. What's going on? The shocked spectators wondered. When the dough knights were done and the beast swallowed a few, then proceeded to cook all the other shapes too. The knight speared his sword through a dragon with wings. Then he and the beast humbly bowed to the kings. I speared a winged beast, as the law states, my sire, and I ate a knight cooked with a dragon's breath fire. We don't understand why we always must fight. We made these together. Please take a bite. So the dough knights and dragons were given a taste. The kings ate them all. Not a one went to waste. His tummy is full. Because of the heroes, all dueling was banned, and all kinds of friendships soon spread through the land. Henceforth, competitions between dragons and knights consisted of bake-offs and festive food fights. The end. Look at those delicious donuts they made. So did you guys get it? Instead of donuts, they made donuts in the shape of knights and dragons, and they solved their problem. I'm so happy when people get to be friends like that. It just makes me smile. All right, so before we read our last book, we are gonna do a little finger play. So I need you guys to warm up your fingers. So wiggle them out, shake them up. Ready? Okay, Miss Kinsey picked this one a while ago and I looked over it again, but I don't quite remember it. So I'm gonna use my paper so that I don't forget. Miss Megan's gonna hold it for me. Thank you, Miss Megan. All right, so we're 5 knights in shining armor. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? 5 knights in shining armor, fearless and brave, went hunting for a dragon in a deep, dark cave. The dragon breathed some fire. Whoosh! The knights were all a quiver. They're scared. And one little knight ran into the river. Splash! So how many knights do we have now? Only 4. 4 knights in shining armor, fearless and brave, went hunting for a dragon in a deep, dark cave. The dragon breathed some fire. Whoosh! The knights were all a quiver, and one little knight ran into the river. Splash! Now how many do we have? Only 3. 3 little knights in shining armor, fearless and brave, went hunting for a dragon in a deep, dark cave. The dragon breathed some fire. Whoosh! The knights were all a quiver, and one little knight ran into the river. Splash! 2 little knights in shining armor, fearless and brave, went hunting for a dragon in a deep, dark cave. The dragon breathed some fire. Whoosh! The knights were all a quiver, and one little knight ran into the river. Splash! Only 1. 1 knight in shining armor, fearless and brave, went hunting for a dragon in a deep, dark cave. The dragon breathed some fire. Whoosh! The knights were all a quiver, and that one little knight ran into the river. Splash! And all the knights in shining armor swam home with a shiver. Oh, that was very silly. They were scared of the dragon. Silly knights. They don't realize, right? All right. Our last book is a very funny book called T-Rex Would Not Make a Good Knight. It's by Thomas Kinsley Troop and illustrated by Steph Calvert. We have a couple of other books by these guys. Triceratops Would Not Make a Good Ninja, and there's one others, all about dinosaurs who are maybe in the wrong profession. Let's see if this T-Rex would make a good knight. What do you guys think? I don't know. Here we go. Greetings, good sirs and madams. I'm Julie T-Rex. I was just dismissed from my job as a knight. Was it justified? You be the judge. Oh my, look at their castle. My first day as a knight was really tricky. I got yelled at for drinking some water outside the castle, and the front door was really tight. I didn't mean to wreck the place, but they don't make castles like they used to. She drank all the moat water. That's to protect the castle. And she can't even get in the door. Oh my. Sir Robert told me knights needed to wear armor. No way would a helmet fit on my giant head. And trying to hide my tail? Forget about it. A knight needs to be an expert with a sword, but I have 2 fingers with claws and very short arms, so I needed help picking up my blade. Sir Robert said I was a lousy partner. Maybe I just need a longer sword. Look, they had to climb 1, 2, 3, 4 people deep or tall to get her sword. Sir Robert said every knight must have a horse, so he took me to the stables to pick out a horse. The horses were so afraid to carry me, they all pooped a little bit. Come on, I'm not that heavy. So rude. They do look very scared, don't they? King Samuel wanted to watch the knights joust. We took our places at opposite ends of the arena. Because I didn't have a horse, I just ran at my opponent. Maybe I shouldn't have roared. Oh dear. The prince is happy. He says, "Team Dinosaur." The royal family invited all of the knights to a big feast. I just wanted the meat. I took a pretty big bite because I was really hungry. I am a carnivore, so they shouldn't have been so surprised. Oh dear. That night, I woke up to yelling. A dragon had taken the royal twins. The king sent his knights to rescue his children. Sir Robert told me I shouldn't go. I didn't listen. Who cared if I couldn't pick up a sword and my tail knocked things over all the time? The kids were in trouble. I followed the knights to a dragon's cave. When the dragon poked his head out, I recognized that face. It was my cousin, Frank. I asked Frank to let the kids go. Obviously, he did. Clearly, the other knights were not happy that I was the hero. Even after I saved the royal twins, I was asked to leave. But don't worry, I'll be okay. I'm ready to start my new job as a race car driver. I sure hope my arms will reach the steering wheel. Oh dear. Poor Julie. I don't think she's gonna make a very good race car driver either. But you know what? In the end, I thought she made a really good knight. Not a typical knight like the others, but she did it in her own way. And I think that that was really, really cool. All right, well, that's all the stories that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you can join me next week. Also, tune in to our YouTube page and Facebook because all week we're going to be doing some other activities that have to do with knights and dragons. So maybe tomorrow you'll be able to make the craft and play our games. So thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.